Hey guys, welcome to this next video on CryptoSphere, and this video will be about TA on XRP, and I'm your host, Sid Vicious. The whole point here is to kind of get the message out of what it is that I found as my theory with where I think we are in XRP's prior market structure. So today is May 6th. This may be somewhat of a long-winded video because I have so much to cover, and there's a lot of things that other folks have kind of asked me to kind of touch on. I'd really like to get your guys' opinion about what I find based on my theory, and this is not to say that this is financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You know, this is just essentially to, collaborate on what I see here in the correlation of XRP's prior 2016 market to now. This will also kind of extrapolate on my theory why I'm coming up with this because of what they found with Bitcoin's 2015 market to now. So I'm going to kind of dig into that. And right now you're going to see that we're on TradingView. We're on XRP USD on a weekly chart on Poloniex. And right here, we're going to see essentially the longest amount of history that we have with XRP to now. And just above, I have the comparison of Bitcoin, which is on the BLX chart. That gives me the most longest history as well. But it's only going to show what it can compare with the time frame of XRP in this case. Some people have said, oh yeah, everything moves because of Bitcoin. So I'm going to kind of quickly just cover that real quick, that I see that XRP does follow Bitcoin to an extent, but it oscillates differently or lags. It's just kind of interesting. And I don't know if I'm even the right person to even say this, but I've noticed that if we do take a comparison here, that over these peaks and valleys, they don't match up at all. They kind of shift out. You see how it kind of like elongates outwards? And it's just really weird how much of a delay they kind of come into each other. Okay, it's just, that's what I see. But then it kind of, when we go through the bear market, it really kind of lines up pretty close. Okay, and with some of these price movements, they're not going to be exact. Okay, but we are going to see some similarities and some harmony and not so much harmony with each other, even with other coins as well. How does that correlate? And I think it's because of the base pairs on the exchanges, and it kind of starts matching and mimicking a little bit more because of base pairs as we matured as of today into these exchanges. That's just my thought on that. Okay, so enough of this. Let's talk about why am I bringing this up? So let's talk about Bitcoin really quick. I know XRP maximalist, we can just chill for a second. Okay, this is Bitcoin's 2015 market. After it capitulated, it went through this consolidation phase, and as you can see here, I have all these moving averages on here. Okay, you guys are gonna be like, what is this spaghetti mess? It's actually going to get a little bit worse, but I'm going to walk us through it. So they found that in Bitcoin's market structure, we're kind of witnessing the same thing, but the timing has kind of hastened. Okay, it's moving a little bit quicker, and it's as if we've kind of skipped this part, and we are now just kind of like right here in kind of moving into this kind of similar market cycle, if you will. So I found something in XRP in 2016 of where we are. And so I'm going to show you guys that. But so I'm going to show you right here on Bitcoin that you can see the similar pattern here, that we've kind of missed this one hump. We just kind of went straight over. And this, for these moving averages, I'm going to show you really quick. I know some of you want to see these details and some of you don't really care. but I try to provide as much detail as I can. So right now for the EMA, right here for the blue, we have the 50, we have the 100, and the red for the 200. For the simples, we have the 100 and the 200, and the weekly I have in teal, which is the 20 weekly moving average. Okay, so you can kind of see that here. Okay. Some of you, like I said, you won't even really care, but we could just focus on the colors if that's to make it simple for you. So we could do matching comparisons here. So what was very crucial about the, the Bitcoin golden cross moment where the 50 crosses over the 200, that's a golden cross moment. We're going to see the price move up. It's kind of a lagging indicator. But in 2015, it actually did a fake out. It did a fake out right here. It did not actually cross. My theory on this is because of the Tether FUD that happened in Bitfinex, some potential, well, it's market manipulation. They're trying to basically wash out their Tether and rally Bitcoin and then get other people to buy in while they wash out their trades, which is why we kind of see this quick leg up, and this, they just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And I know this is Bitcoin news, but we should know about this. This is complete nonsense. I don't know if we're gonna, really break past the 6,000, resistance. And if it does, and we still remain over, like the 50-week moving average, then that's going to be extremely bullish, and Bitcoin's going to start the bull market, okay? And or the other option is that it cannot sustain, it's too much resistance, and it's going to capitulate. But I think they're going to dump on Bitcoin holders here, and that's just my thinking. It's really bad and very controversial of what's going on there. But so yes, 2015 Bitcoin, similar market structure today. Okay, I found a similar thing here in XRP. I'm forewarn you that I have a lot of trend lines showing up on here. I have some correlation of Chinese New Year and some correlation of the Bitcoin halvening, and I'm going to say that those are false. And I had a couple folks just like, hey, can you just touch on that, tell me what you think about that and why so I'm going to show you visually why the Bitcoin halvening does not correlate with XRP's price, and also that the Chinese New Year does not correlate with Bitcoin's price also. I'm going to walk you through this. Just bear with me, and it's going to look really busy as soon as I unhide this, okay? So let's go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here. So given where we are today, if we were to follow the same market structure like we did back in 2016, I would say we are like right here. And I'm going to get into that in here just a second. I'm just going to kind of show you guys what I got here. These are actually price points from prior all-time highs. And the reason why I have all these lines here, it's kind of like in a channel, and that's kind of like what I've seen that XRP's price moves in, is kind of like in a channel. And I just have like these trend lines here to kind of map out my projections and to see the correlation of the price movement within these channels, to kind of understand the behavior with the moving averages and the elevation in price over time. Okay, this is just so I can kind of get a consistent frame of how I can project this price in the future. But this is not to say I'm predicting the price. I'm not putting on a date or anything like that. They will be on there, but this is just for estimation. Okay, this is all theory, and so don't be going, oh yeah, Sid said price is gonna jump up exactly on this day. Please don't do that. Okay, this is just for fun and theory. Okay, and the reason why is there's folks that are just kind of taking this line to this line, and the price is going to be like 500 or 1,000 or whatever. I'm taking it from a different approach, and I'm actually doing measured moves as of percentage from past market structure to measured points in time. Okay, so here I just have like the outside channels here. This is my heart line that I kind of put there because essentially it's these levels of support have it's just kind of rid on this line right here in the middle. Okay, it's like I kind of found the middle here, but I just want to use this as a way to kind of measure where I am in both markets from 2015, 2016 to 2018 to 2019. Okay, this was just for myself. I will kind of elaborate more as we move forward, because it's not fair to anyone out there to say, well, Sid knows where we are in 2016's market, but how did I come up with that? Okay, I need to be fair to everyone out there. How did I figure this out, or why do I think this, right? And I need your guys' feedback on this, right? You can say I'm full of BS. That's okay, but it's for fun and to also reset our expectations. And I'll kind of get into that. And these arrows here that you're going to see here, this red one, the green one, red one. Okay, here is where I saw either a death cross, which is the 50 moving average crossing under the 200 EMA, and where it went above and where it crossed back under. And then there was like nothing going on for a while. And then we got a golden cross. And then we got a death cross. And then we got a golden cross. And then a death cross. And then this golden cross was quite significant. And it just kind of rallied all the way up to like, half a dollar essentially. And then we went sideways for quite a while. Okay. I mean, we're talking like just under a year, about 210 days till the next rally. Okay, and then we met our all-time high. It was like $3.50, and we basically capitulated back down, bear market, just like what we witnessed in Bitcoin. But here, we basically had the death cross, and then it came back to a golden cross, and then a death cross, and then nothing after that. We have not seen that as of yet. Okay, we have not seen XRP's golden cross yet. It's still kind of gapped out right here. So I'm just saying, when do we see this, next golden cross for XRP? Okay, so let's kind of dig into right here. Okay, and I'm going to go to the daily chart. On a daily chart, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my moving averages. And this one right here, I have the EMA ribbon. We'll kind of use that here in a moment, but right now I don't want to make it too cloudy. So I'm going to kind of dig in on these moving averages. I want us to focus on how these moving averages flow. Okay. And as I mentioned before, let's just focus on this red one here. And the gold one is the 100 simple. Okay, this will be kind of key to watch. And this teal is the 20 weekly moving average. I like using this one when I watch price shift. Okay, so I got this little green window of why I think we're right here. Okay, but before we get into this part, let's look at right here. Okay, I want you to look at how these flow. Okay, Look at how they move and how the price eventually goes over the 200 barely and then falls back down as a resistance and then continues to stay down. Okay. And it tested it one more time. Okay. But you're going to, so I know some of you are not TA guys. A lot of you are not. And then for you guys who are, great. I want to hear your feedback on this. Okay. So for color coordination comparison, let's look at today's market. Okay. Here we are, and we're going to look at the MACD as well. Okay. But I'm going to kind of fast forward us to where we are today. And remember how this looked, right? It's kind of similar, same pattern. 4 years later, even 4 years later, we're kind of looking at similar movement of these moving averages coming into today's price. One thing I want to point out is that there's like elongation here of sideways action. And I even think we're going to see some more of this sideways action before we really see some action. Okay. All right. So, okay. Now I'm going to actually show you today how it looks. Okay. Pay attention to this 200 EMA and the 200 simple. Okay. And then we'll just go by colors here, okay? I know I'm going to say okay a lot. I apologize for that. Okay, let me go back here to change this to our daily. And I'm going to turn on my moving averages. We're going to go back to where we were. I got to kind of shorten this side-by-side comparison. I have 3 monitors, but you guys can only see one. And that's why I have to kind of struggle like this. But this is going to be kind of interesting, okay? So this is 2016, and this next one will be as of today, all right? So here we are. We tried to rally up. We got a lot of resistance on these moving averages. Same thing back in 2016. It tried to, pump, and it failed. It kind of got stuck in this channel right here, went sideways, and then kind of capitulated a little bit. And I feel we are like kind of like stuck in this right here before this next potential rally. I don't know. I was kind of showing some guys on Twitter that we were having this, like what could this next move look like, and I did a fib retrace to kind of show what that would look like, the potential aspect of that if we were to actually hit the golden ratio. And this is essentially how it played out last time. So some of the guys are like, hey, I want to see what that looks like as of today. Like what could that look like? And I was like, all right, let's play with that. And here we are. And I was saying like, probably around, 36 cents. We could come from here after we finish the corrective move. It's still kind of, I thought it was going to end, and it didn't. It's still kind of going, sideways here. But the potential outcome could be, on the next rally, 36 cents. If it did, some guys are like, well, when's that going to happen? I was like, I don't know. It could be a couple of weeks. You can't really predict when that happens. This is just to kind of give you a projection from a fib retrace on, the golden ratio 0.618. Okay. So I know some people they want a prediction and things like that, because they want to know when to buy, and that's not what I'm here for. I'm just kind of showing you what the potential aspect could be if it did do the upward trend. And I felt like it was going to because of what I saw back here, but we could be going a little bit longer out. And if it did, here's that, golden cross. Is that what we're expecting next? Is this golden cross? I don't know. I mean, this is the speculation. And I mean, if we really look at this, right, this comparison here, let's look. right? I'm going to shrink it down a little bit and look at how these moving averages correlate here, right? We had like this open where the purple, crosses over and then back down, crosses over and then back down. Okay, there's like an elongation here, but here's the one. These are both 100s, so they're going to be very close with each other. And then we have our 50, which is just down below, and our 20, of course. Obviously, it's the shortest moving average. It's always going to be at the lowest, typically. But when this crosses above these moving averages, it's very bullish, and when it crosses under them, it's very bearish. Okay, so that's the same kind of relationship that we're seeing here, and the suggested price movement that we kind of followed from before. I mean, it's pretty darn close. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact, but I mean, it's pretty close. The other thing that I kind of wondered, like maybe we're right here, but we're not, because this simple 100 is still down here. We're not back up here. So it would be suggested that it would be up here later on. So we're kind of expecting that, right? And so let's take a step back for a moment, right? If this is true, right? If this is true, do you guys see anything major happening? For how long? Let's measure that. Let's measure this. For how long? Over a year, guys. Okay? Over a year. And I don't even know if this will even play out the same. Okay? It could happen a little bit sooner. Maybe 1 year exactly. I don't know. But I want to reset your expectations. We are likely to be walking through this dry desert, thirsty for answers and thirsty for price action. Okay? I want to kind of come in with this other theory. If we do not see utility activated, right? If we don't see no, liquidity, being utilized on XRP, for all these bank transactions, what is this other outcome that we have to expect? Okay, if nothing happens, this is the other outcome. Okay, this is the other outcome. If you're trying to leverage on loans or credit card usage, or you owe your buddy Joe Schmuckatelli, you might want to reduce your risk and just be careful. Okay, I just want you guys to be careful here. All right, you're really messing around with the wrong thing. But at the same time, if you already own XRP, then in my case, I'm just saying I'm going to hold, and I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to even trade it. I'm just holding, and if there's dips, then I'm accumulating. Okay, and right now, okay, let's say I'm trading it. I'm day trading or swing trading or whatnot, and they activate the utility on XRP. Then on my trade, and I sold, I lost out, because that means the price will be at whatever it is to be determined at, right? So I'm not going to take a risk on that, and that's just my standpoint. It's up to you to decide what you want to do with that. But let's do some measures here, okay? I want to do a measure to kind of give us some perspective, okay? Let's look at this all-time high to all-time low, okay? Sorry about the, let's look at, to like right here is about like 400 days, but right here is about, just about a year, okay? Same thing as of today. It's actually shortened, okay? So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna see some oscillation, time differences, but not much, okay? Let's say we're gonna go to So right here we have 882 days from this all-time high to this medium all-time high, okay? And then we had like this kind of like a little rally in between, which lasted about 50 some days, if my memory, it's about 50 days of that. Okay, that's insane. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, we're looking at about 7,300% increase within a very short period of time. Okay, and then we went sideways for almost a year. It's about 234 days, just going sideways, and then the mega bucks at that time, right? And a lot of you probably FOMO'd in right in here, and they try to sell, or who knows. But I'm sorry that happened. But hopefully we can, prepare ourselves for this next opportunity, right? And that's what this whole video is about. I hope you're still enjoying your popcorn there and your Twizzlers or whatever. So I still have more to cover here, so stay tuned. Let me show you the MACD, okay? I want to show you the MACD, and let me pull this over, get these guys out of the way, and I have my OneNote. And I'm just going to kind of give you, what I did was I overlapped, 2015, 2016 over the 2018 and 2019. And I want to show you, I mean, this is crazy. Look at the similarities here of the MACDs. They're not going to be exact, but I mean, they're pretty darn close as of matching here. Okay, so here's the past, here's today. Okay, so look at the MACDs, right? I mean, it's pretty darn close as of matching on this price movement. We're just comparing patterns, right? We're comparing patterns, and visually I think we can all agree that this is pretty similar in the pattern of the price movement and momentum. Okay, and here we are going up, we're coming down. You can see the pulse is relatively the same, and this is where we are today. And it's just starting. I was kind of throwing it out there on Twitter. We're kind of watching this, right? And like, oh my gosh, are we going to go up to 36 cents or 40 cents or something like that? Is that when this happens? I don't know. But I mean, just showing you all this is where we are. Okay, are we going to see this in the next coming weeks, months? I don't know, right? And if we do, then does that mean what I'm presenting here accurate or close to being accurate? Okay, so that leads on to my next topic. What if this is how XRP's market structure is? What if this is what we expect, right? So think about this. What if we do see what this looks like in the future? Okay, so I'm going to go to auto. I'm going to pull this all the way out. Okay. And I want you to see this, okay? If everything plays the same, I just want to treat everything as equal, okay? And I know, like, some people say, well, why don't you just do a fractal and all that? I don't really care. I just want to do it from a very visual standpoint, okay? Now, here we are, like I showed you before, when we had the death cross, a golden cross, and a death cross. And then there was this period of nothingness, like the never-ending story. There was like nothingness. And then we had a golden cross. But over here, we haven't even done that yet. So is that what this is right here? And then at some point, possibly in the near future, we see some sort of golden cross moment, but nothing of significance, just a small rally. I call these small rallies, okay? That's a small rally. That's whatever, sideways action, and this is a small rally, okay? And this is awesome. That's all I can say. That's awesome, and that's awesome, okay? But we have not, I'm going to show you. The blue is the 50, the red is the 200, death cross, golden cross, death cross, and nothing, almost a fake, nothing, still nothing. Let's kind of zoom in on that. Here's a 200, here's a 50. What's going on here? Why haven't we done this yet? Right? So is that what we're expecting? Obviously, we go sideways or we get another golden cross like it shows in prior market structure, okay? On the macro trend, okay? So what does this look like if everything is equal from before? Okay? What if? This is the what if, okay? All right, so I thought I'd do a little nod to our 589 community. So here you are with your 589 right here, okay? And what I did was I did measured moves of percentage from before, okay? So I'm going to show you that right now. So if all things were equal, you know, we're looking at like a 7,000, 300, right? So if I do that over here, just to kind of, give you an idea of what I did, it's about right in there. So $35, how far away? How far away is that? Potentially a year, just over a year, okay? Maybe we see something sooner than that. I don't know. But I like to treat everything as a worst case scenario. I try to be fairly conservative. To me, this is not conservative at all. I mean, I'm being really, this is like way up there in my mind. I still feel this is impossible, but a lot of people are saying this is up here. Like we see this right here. I don't see that. And that's why I'm presenting this. I don't see it. Okay. We're talking 3 years from right here to right here, this next all-time high. Okay. The potential big one. Okay. And I just did like a little price range here to say like $35 to $52. Okay. This is just hypothetical. And the other hypothetical was, we hit, 257 to 400. Okay. And so how did I get that? Let me get this guy out of the way. Just trying to take the same baseline, percentage. It's about, I don't know why it says that. Bear with me here. It's just really hard to kind of dial it in. I'm trying to get it as accurate as possible. It's about 55,000-ish. Yeah, 55,622. Okay. Let's do the same thing over here. If I was just trying to, keep things consistent, okay, this may not be accurate, but let's just kind of go off of this, okay. 54, 55. Yeah, so there it is, around, I'm just going to say 100 plus, okay? To me, this is just way beyond what I can even think I could even project. And, I I know some of you guys in the the BG community are talking about May a lot, and as of May of this month, and what's going to happen in 2020. I don't know. Anyone can make a guess on these things, but I'm just going to show you from a TA perspective, because I just want to bring something to the table, to the community on this. Okay. There's news. There's been news. There's been bad news. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing news not correlate with the price movement of XRP. That even happens with Bitcoin and Cardano. I mean, I could go on about other ones. And then there are other coins out there that do move on news, like, Tron, okay? BNB, right? So in our case, XRP does not move on news. And if it does, it's because they've activated, the utility in this case. And I'm going to be facetious about this, but I don't want us to think that this happens right now. I just don't see that. There's nothing from a macro trend, market structure, cycle that would suggest that. Okay? And I know some people are kind of taking this trend line to here, and it's going way up to like 1,000 or something like that. I'm like, I don't know. I'm really struggling to accept that. So I just want to take a stab at it to kind of show you guys why I think it's not going to be like that. Okay. And, I don't hold a blind eye to the BG community. I do look at what's going on with that. Is there someone or some people with this inside knowledge that they know about something? And, I'm a technical project manager, and I am aware of how when we implement something or develop and test, we have projections and things get delayed, and I'm well aware of that. But you know what, with the 589 2019 photo, it's gone. I'm sorry, it's gone. That was a price projection for that year. No reason to beat a dead horse. I understand that there was a Christmas video upon that and trying to re-explain that, but I know that's the speculation for as of this month, right? I just don't want you guys to be let down, okay? These expectations, win moon, win Lambo type of thing, that really throws other people off who try to look at it from a very honest perspective. It's up to you to accept it or not. I'm not saying it's bad or false. I want you guys to look at things from a different perspective, from a technical analysis. That's all I'm saying, because I know a lot of people want to discredit it, but I've made some pretty good gains on accumulation for XRP and Cardano and Bitcoin and GBTC. I've done quite well doing it this way. If I was really to listen to news, I would have lost a lot of money. And just so you guys know, I'm heavily invested in XRP, and I treat it very seriously. Okay, so anything that I'm presenting to you is because I've done a lot of research, a lot of due diligence to justify my decisions and what I'm doing. I have pretty much got the whole family. We're all in. Okay, we're all in. My portfolio mainly consists of XRP. I'm not trading it. I'm just accumulating it, and that's all I'm doing. I could sit on this for years. I don't care. I don't really care what happens right here. Okay, I'm looking for the golden ticket. Okay, I'm here for. I have patience, and I'm just suggesting or hinting at, maybe you guys need some patience too. Okay, does it really matter to you that when this happens, if you already hold XRP, okay, does that matter? It doesn't, because you already hold it. So either it goes up because of utility, or it goes up because of market structure. right? So these are the possible scenarios that we need to consider. And that's very important. It's very important. If you don't have XRP, I'm not going to tell you to buy it, but I think there's a lot of evidence and research out there that would suggest that it's a very good potential asset to hold or to acquire at some point, given who is all involved with it. If you are new to understanding what XRP is, and there's a lot of people in this community who are phenomenal, amazing people. I can't list everyone, but because there's just too many to name. But for all of our content creators, key members in the community, we are in a very strong community. And I know that some of us get very defensive when someone tries to knock on XRP. I get that way myself, but sometimes you guys get a little too crazy and then you kind of attack me. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I already own it, so it's okay. Yeah, and there's so many of us that they want to call 50% of us a bunch of bots, but whatever. Who cares? I mean, who cares, guys? Right? I mean, does it really matter? We're already winning if we're holding it, right? And I know some people are gonna be watching this and like, oh man, this guy's completely brainwashed. And you know what? I've been following what the IMF has been trying to do for years. I've been in this for like 7 years and followed this crumb trail to where I am today. And the reason why I hold XRP is because of higher powers at B and all the partnerships that Ripple has established with all these entities and financial institutions, and the testing that has been publicly announced. It is very obvious what is at play here. I understand that the project, if you will, at hand to make this go live is enormous, and it's been in flight for years. Okay, and I'm telling you guys from my own perspective as a PM that there are many things at play here that are either monetary, physical, geopolitical, and I mean, obviously we got some regulations we need to get sorted out, right? This is new. There's a lot of entities that are not ready for this, and they do run into setbacks. Okay, but this is just my theory, and I'm going to cover some of this Chinese New Year nonsense. My wife is Chinese, and I told her about what people have said about this, and she goes, "What are you talking about?" So here you go. We're going to talk about some Bitcoin halvening and Chinese New Year debunking here. Okay. Here's Bitcoin's price movement, and then the BTC halvening, July 10, 2016. All right. And did anything happen? Nada. Like almost just under a year until that happened. Okay. Let's go to the next halvening. This is the next halvening that's going to happen around here. If someone was to say like, oh yeah, XRP is going to go up on this next halvening, that's pure luck because of this projection that I have here. I don't feel that the halvening has anything to do if the price does hit right here. Okay. So let's go back to here. Chinese New Year, February 2016. Happened after the fact of the all-time high. No correlation. Okay. Chinese New Year, January 2017. Okay, maybe this is why they're bringing it up, because it happened. But I don't think anything of it. Okay. Chinese New Year, February 2018. Okay, happened after the fact. Quite a bit of time there. Okay. It's months away. Okay. And we just celebrated our, Chinese New Year for 2019 in February. Nada. Okay. Not a thing. Here probably happens again. It's only because I mapped out exactly the same. And obviously, Chinese New Year is a leap year. It happens roughly around the same cycle of its own. And just magically it does align with that, just like it did here. But that's because I measured everything exactly the same. Okay. There is no correlation with Chinese New Year with XRP's price movement. I know that there are some folks who have been suggesting, because of inside knowledge, hey, we might see something because of Chinese New Year. Well, you know what? It didn't happen, guys. Okay. Did not happen. Did not happen before or even back then. It's just out of pure luck that, Bitcoin's market structure or cycle is 4 years, 3 years bull, 1 year bear, right? And, Chinese Year is always like this offset from our, New Year in America. Okay. It's just, this is how it is. Okay. They get lucky. If it does land on that, there's no consistency there, is what I'm trying to show you. Okay. So I just want to kind of show you guys that. And this was kind of a request by a couple folks that kind of brought that up. And they asked if I can kind of throw these things on here. But so I apologize for, the mess. And actually, let me get a different chart. So let's look at these moving averages one more time. Okay. I just want to show this one last time just to kind of put a capstone on this. Okay. So you may not fully see it all the way. Let me get rid of these guys. And I know some of you are going to ask, like, what's this deal about? I only did this because it was a measured move to kind of triangulate, when did this happen, to make it similar to as of, what could we possibly expect in the future if all things were equal. That's all that was. Okay. So to me personally, I think this kind of elongates out more than what it shows here. Okay. That's my thinking. And that's why I'm suggesting that, hey, we're going to have to wait a while, guys. Okay. So here we are with these moving averages. You can kind of see that they move similar in nature. This is more of an elongation gap of where we are right now. So we have not seen, and it doesn't even look like we're going to have a golden cross anytime soon. Okay. And if we look here at the TL line, the blue one, right? See how it just kind of, it rallies up one time from that golden cross moment, and it goes down and then sideways for a long time. And then we rallied one more time. And I mean, this even looks similar to what, Bitcoin did before it did its rally, right? The little golden gate thing. Remember I said there's kind of like this delay, or like how XRP's price kind of stretches out as of its correlation with Bitcoin, right? So if I actually bring this down, you will see them right here when that happened in 2015. And what do you know? They kind of do that later on. And then that rally happened, that rally going into the bull market for Bitcoin. So these are just some interesting things here, right? This is a very controversial video. A lot of people, give me flack for it. I don't really care. I just want to give you guys a different idea, a different perspective of what to expect. And this is not FUD or anything like that. I'm a big holder of XRP. Okay. I promise you that. And I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist or anything like that. I like making money. That's all I care about. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up. I'm sorry for the long video. I hope it was somewhat entertaining in this case, inspiring. And I'd really like to hear from you guys what you guys think about this. And I mean, is there anyone else out there that's even kind of run into this, right? I haven't seen anyone, bring this up. So I mean, does it really stack up on top of each other like in a fractal in that manner? Or does this part right here change? Does this kind of like move forward and then we kind of rally up in this way? If it was to do that, right? I mean, this is just hypothetical, right? So this can happen in several different scenarios, but that's just what I'm thinking. But I really truly feel this happens later on. XRP has lagged behind price movement of Bitcoin, and then it kind of oscillated or morphed back into it later on. And so you're going to kind of see that. So don't worry about the Joneses, guys. You only worry about what you got, and not all coins do the exact same thing. Okay, they will impact each other, but this is Bitcoin's story and this is XRP's story for right now. Does it change? Possibly. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say, and thank you for watching. Take care, guys.